Hello there. My name is Alara, and welcome to the Late Night Science Channel. Right now, as you're settling in, maybe your head's already on the pillow, maybe you're curled up somewhere quiet, your brain is getting ready to do something absolutely incredible, something it does every single night without you even asking. And tonight, we're going to explore exactly what that is. So if you find this interesting, if this helps you drift off, or just satisfies that late night curiosity, I'd really appreciate if you could hit that like button. It helps more people find these calm science stories. And subscribe if you want more of these peaceful journeys into the world of science. All right, let's begin. You know, we spend about a third of our lives asleep. A third. That's roughly 25 years if you live to 75. And for the longest time, people thought sleep was just nothing, just your body shutting down, going offline like a computer in rest mode. But that couldn't be further from the truth. While you're lying there, eyes closed, breathing slowly, your brain is actually putting on one of the most complex performances it's capable of. It's sorting, filing, cleaning, repairing, and yes, creating entire worlds inside your head. Worlds we call dreams. Now, before we go deeper, let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up and remembered a dream so vivid, so strange, that you couldn't shake it all day? Maybe you were flying, or talking to someone who's been gone for years, or trying to run but your legs wouldn't move. Dreams have this quality, don't they? They feel real while they're happening, but the moment you wake up, they start to fade like smoke. And yet, every culture, every civilization, every human being who's ever lived has dreamed. So what's going on? Why does your brain do this? And what have scientists learned about this nightly mystery? Let's start with the basics. Sleep itself. You might think sleep is just one long stretch of unconsciousness, but it's actually a cycle, a carefully organized rhythm that your brain moves through several times each night. Scientists call it sleep architecture, which makes it sound fancy, almost like your brain is building something while you rest. And in a way, it is. Sleep is divided into two main types. There's REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement, and then there's non-REM sleep, which has 3 stages of its own. These stages cycle through about 90 minutes, like a playlist your brain keeps replaying, and each stage has its own job, its own purpose. Think of it like a factory working the night shift, each department doing something different but equally important. The first stage, N1, is the lightest. This is that moment when you're just starting to drift off. You're still kind of aware of the room around you. Maybe you hear a sound outside or feel your body twitch. That twitch, by the way, is called a hypnic jerk, and it's totally normal. Your nervous system is just adjusting as it transitions from awake to asleep. Sometimes people feel like they're falling during this stage, and they jolt awake. It's strange, but harmless. Your brain waves start slowing down here, shifting from the active beta and alpha waves you have when you're awake into slower theta waves. You're in the shallow end of sleep, just dipping your toes in. Then comes N2, which is light sleep, but deeper than N1. Your heart rate slows, your body temperature drops a little, and your brain starts showing these interesting bursts of activity called sleep spindles. Scientists think these spindles help protect your sleep, blocking out noises and distractions so you don't wake up every time a car drives by or someone coughs in another room. This stage takes up about half of your total sleep time. It's not flashy, but it's essential. It's the quiet, steady work your brain does to keep you resting. And then you think even deeper. Stage N3. This is deep sleep, also called slow wave sleep. And this is where the real restoration happens. Your brain produces these big, slow delta waves rolling through your mind like ocean swells. During this stage, your body is busy repairing tissues, strengthening your immune system, building bone and muscle. If you're a kid, your body releases growth hormone here. Adults don't grow taller anymore, obviously, but we still benefit from this deep, restorative phase. It's like your body's maintenance crew comes in and fixes everything that got worn down during the day. It's really hard to wake someone up from deep sleep, and if you do, they'll be groggy, confused, maybe a little grumpy. It's like pulling someone out of a warm bath with a foghorn. Not pleasant. Dreams can happen in deep sleep, but they're usually not the vivid, story-like kind, more like vague impressions, feelings, shadows of thought. The real cinematic dreams, the ones with plots and characters and impossible physics, those happen in the next stage, REM sleep, rapid eye movement. This is where things get interesting. During REM, your brain becomes almost as active as it is when you're awake, sometimes even more active in certain areas. Your eyes dart around beneath your eyelids, hence the name, and your heart rate picks up a little. But here's the strange part. While all this is happening, your body is completely still, paralyzed actually. It's a safety feature called REM atonia, and it keeps you from acting out your dreams. Your brain says, let's imagine you're flying over a city, and your body says, cool, I'll just stay here completely motionless. This is the stage where most of your vivid dreams happen, the ones you remember, the ones that feel like movies. And it's not just entertainment. REM sleep plays a huge role in memory, emotional processing, and even creativity. Your brain is sorting through the day, deciding what to keep, what to toss, and how to file everything away. It's also processing emotions, which is why you might dream about something that bothered you, or someone you miss, or a situation that made you anxious. Your brain is working through it, trying to make sense of things. Each REM cycle gets longer as the night goes on. The first one might only last 10 minutes, but by morning, you could be in REM for an hour. That's why dreams feel longer and weirder as the night progresses. And that's also why, if you wake up naturally in the morning, you're more likely to remember your dream. You're waking up right out of REM. So, that's the basic structure. Light sleep, deep sleep, REM. Repeat. 4 to 6 times a night. But the balance shifts as the night goes on. Early on, you get more deep sleep. Later, you get more REM. It's like your brain schedules the heavy repair work first, then settles in for some creative storytelling. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Why do we dream at all? What's the point? And this is where scientists start to disagree, because honestly, no one knows for sure. There are theories, lots of them, and some are more convincing than others. But the truth is, dreaming is still one of the great mysteries of the human brain. One of the most popular ideas is that dreams help with memory. During the day, you take in so much information: conversations, faces, tasks, worries, random facts, song lyrics that get stuck in your head. Your brain can't keep all of it, so at night, it sorts through everything, deciding what's important and what's not. This is called memory consolidation, and it happens mostly during REM sleep. Your brain is like a librarian, filing away the useful stuff and tossing out the junk. Interestingly, people who study hard or learn a new skill tend to have more REM sleep afterward, and sometimes they even dream about what they've been practicing. So if you've ever had a dream where you're trying to solve a math problem or play a song, that's your brain rehearsing. It's working even while you sleep. Another theory is that dreams help us process emotions. Think about it. During the day, you experience all kinds of feelings: joy, frustration, sadness, anger, love. But you don't always have time to sit with those emotions, to really feel them. So your brain does it at night. During REM sleep, the emotional centers of your brain, like the amygdala, become very active. But at the same time, the chemicals associated with stress are reduced. This combination allows your brain to revisit emotionally charged memories without the full intensity of panic or fear. It's like your brain is saying, okay, let's look at this again, but calmly this time. That's why you might dream about an argument you had, or someone you miss, or a situation that made you anxious. Your brain isn't torturing you, it's processing. It's working through the emotional weight so you don't have to carry it all into the next day. And sometimes, when you wake up, you feel a little lighter. You might not even remember the dream, but the emotional work was done. There's also a really interesting idea called the threat simulation theory. This suggests that dreaming is your brain's way of preparing you for danger. Back when humans were living in the wild, constantly facing predators and other threats, it made sense for the brain to rehearse survival scenarios. So you'd dream about being chased, or attacked, or lost. And even though it wasn't real, your brain was practicing how to respond. It's like a fire drill, but for your survival instincts. And if you think about it, a lot of common dreams fit this pattern. Being chased, falling, losing your teeth, showing up somewhere unprepared. These are all scenarios where something's going wrong, where you're vulnerable. Your brain is running simulations, testing how you'd react. It's not trying to scare you, it's trying to prepare you. Of course, not everyone buys into that theory. Another explanation, a more mechanical one, is called the activation synthesis hypothesis. This idea says that dreams are basically random. During REM sleep, the brainstem sends out random electrical impulses, and your cortex, the thinking part of your brain, tries to make sense of them. It pulls in memories, images, emotions, and stitches them together into something that resembles a story. But there's no deep meaning. It's just your brain doing its best with random signals. And honestly, some dreams do feel that way. Completely nonsensical, no emotional weight, just weird. But here's the thing. Even if some dreams are random, that doesn't mean all of them are meaningless, because dreams also reflect what's going on in your waking life. Scientists call this the continuity hypothesis. It's the idea that your daily experiences, your worries, your routines, they all sneak into your dreams. If you spent the day studying, you might dream about school. If you had an argument, that person might show up in your dream. If you watched a scary movie before bed, well, don't be surprised if your dreams get a little intense. Dreams are also incredibly creative. Many artists, musicians, writers, even scientists have said that their best ideas came to them in dreams. Paul McCartney heard the melody for Yesterday in a dream. Mary Shelley dreamed up Frankenstein. The chemist Dmitri Mendeleev said the structure of the periodic table came to him while he was asleep. So even if dreams are random on some level, they're also a space where your mind can experiment, connect ideas in new ways, and explore without the usual rules of logic. In a way, dreams are like your brain's sandbox, a place where anything can happen, where the laws of physics don't apply, where time doesn't work the way it should. And sometimes, in that freedom, something beautiful or surprising emerges. Now, not everyone dreams the same way. Some people have vivid, colorful dreams every night. Others barely remember dreaming at all. And some people, very rarely, claim they don't dream at all. But scientists think that's usually not true. Most people do dream, they just don't remember it. And that's because dreams are notoriously hard to hold on to. The part of your brain responsible for forming long-term memories, the hippocampus, isn't fully active during REM sleep. So even though you're experiencing this whole vivid story, your brain isn't encoding it the way it would a waking memory. That's why dreams fade so fast. You might wake up with a clear image in your mind, but by the time you brush your teeth, it's gone, vanished like mist. Some dreams do stick, though. The emotionally powerful ones, the scary ones, the ones that touch something deep. Those tend to burn a little brighter in your memory. And that makes sense, because emotions are like a highlighter for your brain. When something feels important, your brain pays more attention, and it's more likely to remember. There's also something else worth mentioning here. Not all dreams are pleasant. Sometimes your brain takes you somewhere dark, somewhere frightening, and those are called nightmares. Nightmares are dreams too, but with the emotional volume turned way up. They usually happen during REM sleep, just like regular dreams, but they're filled with fear, anxiety, sadness, or dread. You might dream about being chased, falling, losing someone, or being trapped. And when you wake up, your heart is pounding, your body's tense, and the fear lingers even though you're safe in bed. Most people have nightmares from time to time, and they're totally normal. But when nightmares become frequent, when they start affecting your sleep quality or your waking life, that's when they can become a problem. This is especially true for people dealing with trauma, stress, or anxiety. For them, nightmares can feel like the brain is replaying the worst moments over and over, refusing to let go. There's a condition called nightmare disorder, and it's more common than you'd think. People with this condition have frequent, intense nightmares that disrupt their sleep and their emotional well-being. And for people with PTSD, nightmares are often one of the core symptoms. They might relive the traumatic event directly, or their dreams might be filled with intense fear and helplessness, even if the content is different. But here's the interesting part. Scientists believe that nightmares, like regular dreams, are part of the brain's way of processing emotions. They're not random. They're not just your brain being cruel. They're actually an attempt to work through something difficult. The problem is, sometimes the system gets stuck. Instead of processing the fear and moving on, the brain keeps replaying it, like a record that's skipping. That's where therapy can help. There's a technique called imagery rehearsal therapy, where people are taught to rewrite their nightmares while they're awake. They imagine the nightmare, but then they change the ending. They give themselves control, power, safety, and then they rehearse this new version over and over. Gradually, the brain starts to incorporate the new narrative, and the nightmares lose their intensity. It's like teaching your brain a new story, one with less fear and more resolution. Nightmares aren't the only scary sleep experience, though. There's also something called night terrors, which are different. Night terrors happen during deep sleep, not REM, and they're more like sudden panic attacks from the brainstem. A person might sit up, scream, thrash around, look terrified, but they're not fully awake. They're stuck between sleep states, and they usually don't remember it the next morning. Night terrors are much more common in children, and most kids grow out of them. For adults, they're rarer, but they can happen, especially during times of high stress. And then there's sleep paralysis. This is when your mind wakes up before your body does. You're conscious, but you can't move. And often, this state comes with hallucinations, shadows in the room, a weight on your chest, strange sounds. Historically, people thought these were demons or spirits, but now we know it's just a glitch in the REM system. The muscle paralysis that's supposed to keep you still during dreams lingers for a moment after you wake. It's terrifying in the moment, but it's harmless. It usually passes within seconds or minutes. So why does the brain scare itself like this? One theory is that fear is a powerful teacher. From an evolutionary perspective, remembering danger is more important than remembering pleasure. So negative emotions are stickier. They leave a stronger imprint. A dream about escaping a predator is more likely to be remembered than a dream about eating a nice meal. It's not fair, but it makes sense from a survival standpoint. Another reason is that your brain is trying to process something you haven't fully dealt with yet. Stress, worry, unresolved conflict, these things don't just disappear when you go to sleep. Your brain keeps working on them, and sometimes that work looks like a nightmare. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's also a sign that your mind is trying to heal, trying to make sense of things. The good news is that most people don't have nightmares every night. They're occasional, and for those who do experience them frequently, there are ways to reduce them. Better sleep habits, stress management, therapy. Even learning to lucid dream can help, because when you become aware that you're dreaming, you can sometimes take control. You can turn and face the thing that's chasing you. You can remind yourself, this isn't real and I'm safe. And that brings us to one of the most fascinating aspects of dreaming, lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming is when you become aware while you're dreaming that you're in a dream, and sometimes you can even control what happens next. It's like waking up inside your own mind, realizing you're the director, the actor, and the set designer, all at once. It doesn't happen to everyone, and it doesn't happen every night, but when it does, it's remarkable. During a lucid dream, part of your brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex, becomes more active than it normally is during REM sleep. This is the part responsible for self-awareness, logic, decision-making. Normally, it's quiet during dreams, which is why dreams are so illogical. But in a lucid dream, it wakes up just enough to give you that moment of clarity. Wait, this is a dream. Scientists have actually studied lucid dreamers in sleep labs. They've trained people to perform specific eye movements while lucid dreaming, like looking left, right, left, which can be detected by external monitoring. It's wild. The person is asleep, their body is still, but they're sending signals from inside their dream. It's the closest we've come to real-time communication with the dreaming mind. Some people learn to lucid dream on purpose. There are techniques for it. One is called the mild technique, which stands for mnemonic induction of lucid dreams. You wake up after about 5 hours of sleep, focus on the intention to realize you're dreaming, and then repeat a phrase like, "Next time I'm dreaming, I'll remember I'm dreaming," as you fall back asleep. It's like planting a seed of awareness in your mind. Another technique is called wild, wake-initiated lucid dreaming. This is trickier. The goal is to stay mentally aware while your body falls asleep. If you do it right, you transition directly from wakefulness into a lucid dream. But it's not easy, and it can sometimes lead to sleep paralysis or strange sensations. Still, for experienced lucid dreamers, it's a powerful tool. There are also reality checks, which are little tests you do throughout the day to see if you're dreaming. You might try to push your finger through your palm or read a sentence twice to see if it changes. If you do this enough during the day, you'll eventually do it in a dream, and when your finger goes through your palm or the text keeps shifting, you'll realize, oh, I'm dreaming. So why do people want to lucid dream? For some, it's just fun. You can fly, explore impassable worlds, have conversations with people who aren't there, live out fantasies. For others, it's therapeutic. People with recurring nightmares have used lucid dreaming to confront their fears, to take control of the narrative and change the ending. Imagine being chased by something terrifying, realizing you're dreaming, turning around and saying, "You're not real." For some, that moment of empowerment can be deeply healing. Lucid dreaming is also a space for creativity. Artists and writers have used it to explore ideas, to see what their subconscious comes up with when given a little freedom. And scientists have even used it for problem solving. You can work through challenges, test solutions, rehearse skills, all while your body is resting. But not everyone can do it easily. Some people pick it up quickly, while others practice for months without success. And even experienced lucid dreamers say their control varies. Sometimes they can shape the dream like clay. Other times, they're just a little more aware while the dream unfolds on its own. There are also a few cautions. Because lucid dreaming involves waking up parts of your brain during REM sleep, Doing it too often or interrupting your sleep cycles too much can reduce sleep quality. Balance is important. The goal is to enhance your experience, not disrupt your rest. Still, lucid dreaming is one of those amazing reminders of how flexible the human mind is. The fact that you can become aware of yourself while unconscious, that you can navigate a world that doesn't exist outside your own neurons, it's extraordinary, and it raises all kinds of questions about consciousness, reality, and what it means to be awake. Now, we've been talking a lot about humans, but here's a question. Do animals dream? And the answer, based on what scientists have observed, is almost certainly yes. Of course, we can't ask a dog to describe their dream about chasing squirrels, and a cat won't sit down and tell us about the mouse they caught in their sleep, but the evidence is pretty compelling. Almost all mammals experience REM sleep, the same stage where humans do most of their dreaming. And during REM, animals show the same signs we do. Their eyes move rapidly beneath their eyelids, their breathing becomes irregular, their muscles go limp, and sometimes they twitch or make sounds. If you've ever watched a dog sleeping, paws paddling, tail wagging, maybe letting out a soft bark, you've probably seen this. It looks exactly like they're running through a dream. But the evidence goes deeper than just observation. Scientists have actually studied the brain activity of animals during sleep, and what they found is fascinating. In one famous study at MIT, researchers trained rats to run through a maze while monitoring their brain activity. As the rats moved through the maze, specific patterns of neurons would fire in a particular sequence. It was like a song their brains played while they navigated. Later, when the rats were asleep, researchers watched those same neural patterns replay during REM sleep, the exact same sequence. It was as if the rats were dreaming about the maze, running through it again in their minds, rehearsing the route. The brain was replaying the experience, possibly to strengthen the memory or to practice for next time. The same song, just playing in the dark. Birds also show signs of dreaming. Zebra finches, for example, are known for their complex songs. During sleep, their brains replay the neural patterns associated with singing, as if they're rehearsing their melodies while unconscious. Dream karaoke for birds. It's both adorable and scientifically significant because it suggests that dreaming isn't just about processing random information. It's about practice, about learning, about refining skills. Even more surprising, some reptiles might dream too. Certain species of lizards show sleep patterns that resemble both REM and non-REM sleep. It's still early in the research, and we don't know for sure what's happening in their brains, but it raises the possibility that dreaming is much older, evolutionarily speaking, than we once thought. It might not be a mammal thing or even a warm-blooded thing. It might be something woven deep into complex nervous systems. So what are animals dreaming about? Well, we can't know for certain, but it's probably related to their daily experiences. Dogs might dream about walks, playing, chasing things, interacting with their humans. Cats might dream about hunting, exploring, or lounging in a sunny spot. Horses might dream about running through fields. The content is likely grounded in what matters to them, what they do, what they care about. There's even some evidence that animals can have nightmares. Lab animals exposed to stressful situations show changes in their REM sleep, sometimes more fragmented, sometimes more intense, and they may avoid certain behaviors or places that appeared in their stressful dreams. It's heartbreaking to think about, but it also shows that dreaming is closely tied to emotional processing across species. not just in humans. What about pets? The dogs curled up at the foot of your bed, the cats snoozing in the window. What are they dreaming about? Researchers believe dogs, in particular, have vivid dreams. Smaller dogs tend to enter REM sleep more frequently, while larger breeds stay in REM longer. And because you're such a central part of your dog's life, it's very likely that they dream about you, about your voice, your scent, the walks you take together, the games you play. You're probably a recurring character in their nightly stories. Cats, being cats, are a bit more mysterious, but they dream too. In fact, studies on cats in the 1960s helped scientists understand the link between REM sleep and dreaming. Researchers temporarily disabled the part of the brain that causes muscle paralysis during REM, and the cats started acting out their dreams. They'd stalk invisible prey, pounce on nothing, groom themselves, all while sound asleep. It was the first real proof that animals don't just sleep, they experience whole narratives, whole inner worlds while unconscious. Dreaming in animals raises some fascinating philosophical questions. If a rat dreams, does it have a sense of self in that dream? Can animals tell the difference between dream and reality? And what would it feel like to dream without language, without the ability to narrate your own experience? Maybe dreaming is one of those universal languages of the brain, something that transcends species, a way for all creatures to process, remember, and reflect. So next time you see your pet twitching in their sleep, let them be. Let them chase their dream rabbits or stalk their dream birds. They're traveling too, through landscapes you'll never see, but are just as real to them as your dreams are to you. And in a strange way, it's comforting. You're not alone in this nightly journey. Somewhere, a dog is dreaming of fetch, a cat is dreaming of a sunbeam, a bird is dreaming of flight, and all of you, human and animal alike, are exploring inner worlds that exist only in the quiet theater of the sleeping mind. Now, let's talk about something that sounds like science fiction, but is actually happening right now: dream recording. For most of human history, dreams have been completely private, a world seen by one person, fleeting, mysterious, often forgotten by morning. You might wake up with fragments, a face, a place, a feeling, but the dream itself is gone. And if you try to explain it to someone, the magic slips through your fingers. Words quite can't capture it. Dreams until very recently were like whispers in a locked room, yours and yours alone. But scientists are starting to pick that lock, not by reading minds exactly, but by reading brain activity. And what they've discovered is both amazing and a little unsettling. It starts with technology we've had for a while. EEG, which measures brainwaves, has been used for decades to study sleep. It can tell you when someone is in light sleep, deep sleep, or REM, but it can't tell you what they're dreaming about. For that, you need more detail, and that's where fMRI comes in, functional magnetic resonance imaging. It shows which parts of the brain are active and when, with much more precision. In one groundbreaking experiment in Japan, researchers asked volunteers to fall asleep inside an fMRI machine, which, let's be honest, sounds like the least relaxing place to sleep, but somehow they managed. The scientists monitored their brain activity during the early stages of sleep, when brief flashes of dream imagery start to appear. Here's the clever part. Before the experiment, the participants had been shown hundreds of images while awake: cats, buildings, people, cars, trees, and the researchers recorded the brain activity associated with each image. Every image created a kind of neural fingerprint in the visual cortex, so when similar patterns appeared during sleep, the researchers could compare them to the waking data, and it worked. With about 60% accuracy, they could guess what kind of thing the person was dreaming about. Not the full story, not the emotions, but the category of image: a person, a vehicle, a structure. 60% might not sound impressive, but when you consider they were guessing thoughts from neural patterns in a sleeping brain, it's incredible. It was the first real glimpse behind the curtain of someone else's dream. Low resolution, yes. Silent, yes, but still a glimpse. Other researchers have gone further. At the University of California, scientists developed models to reconstruct what people were seeing while awake, using fMRI data to create rough images from the brain activity. The reconstructions were fuzzy, abstract, almost impressionistic, but they were there. Visible proof that brain activity can be decoded into something resembling visual experience. So can we watch someone's dream on a screen like a movie? Not yet, but the groundwork is being laid. Scientists can identify categories of content, track emotional tone based on which brain regions light up, and in some cases, detect specific shapes or objects. The technology is limited, but it's improving fast. With advances in artificial intelligence and neural decoding, dream reading might become sharper, faster, more detailed in the years ahead. And that raises some very big, very important questions. Dreams are private by nature. They're one of the last truly unfiltered expressions of the self. No one else can follow you there. So if the day comes when we can record or decode dreams with precision, what happens to that privacy? Will there be laws protecting the content of your subconscious? Will you need permission to access someone's dreams? These aren't hypothetical questions anymore. As neuroscience advances, ethicists and lawmakers are already starting to talk about something called neuro-rights, basic protections from mental privacy, freedom of thought, the sanctity of the inner self. Because while it might be fun to imagine sharing your dreams like videos, there's also something sacred about the fact that dreams are yours and yours alone. That said, there are some potentially beautiful uses for this technology. Imagine people who can't communicate, people with severe disabilities or locked-in syndrome. If we could translate their dreams into language or images, we might be able to access their inner worlds in ways that were never possible before. That's not invasive, that's liberating. Or think about therapy. If a psychologist could see patterns in someone's dreams over time, recurring symbols, emotional themes, unresolved tensions, it might offer a new tool for understanding mental health, not replacing traditional therapy, but enhancing it. A dream journal powered by brainwaves. There's even a playful side to this science. Some researchers are experimenting with something called targeted dream incubation. It's exactly what it sounds like, using sounds, scents, or words during sleep to gently influence the content of dreams. It's not control exactly, more like a nudge. If you want to dream about the ocean, you might hear soft wave sounds while you sleep. If you're learning a language, you might hear vocabulary words whispered during REM. The brain picks up on these cues, and sometimes they weave their way into the dream. It's subtle, it's not foolproof, but it works often enough to be intriguing. And in the future, we might have wearable devices, headbands or earbuds that monitor your sleep stages and deliver gentle cues at just the right moment. You could guide your dreams to help solve problems, rehearse skills, or simply explore ideas in a safe, creative space. Of course, dreams are still far too complex to fully decode. They're messy, layered, emotional, and often absurd. Even the dreamer struggles to make sense of them. But we're getting closer to understanding how the brain builds these inner worlds, and maybe, just maybe, closer to bringing them into the light. Still, there's something lovely about the fact that for now, dreams remain mostly secret, unrecorded, unfiltered, uniquely yours, whispers in a locked room painted in the dark. Now, we've covered a lot of ground: the stages of sleep, the science of dreams, why we have nightmares, how animals dream, even how technology is starting to peek into the dreaming mind. But there's one more piece to this puzzle, one more question worth asking. How does all of this connect to mental health? Because dreams aren't separate from your waking life, they're deeply connected to your emotions, your stress, your psychological state, and understanding that connection can help us take better care of ourselves, both while we're awake and while we're asleep. Let's start with something most of us have experienced. When you're stressed, your dreams change. They become more intense, more vivid, sometimes more chaotic. You might dream about being chased, losing something important, showing up unprepared, or feeling trapped. These dreams mirror the emotional turmoil in your waking life, like your brain is trying to process feelings you haven't fully dealt with yet. Researchers have observed this connection for a long time. People with depression, for example, often report more negative dream content. Their dreams might feel heavy, sad, repetitive, or emotionally flat. It's like the emotional numbness they experience during the day carries over into the night. The dreams aren't necessarily nightmares, but they lack joy, lightness, color. They feel gray. People with anxiety, on the other hand, tend to have dreams filled with threat, pressure, or embarrassment, being late, failing a test, forgetting something crucial, being judged by others. The brain is replaying the anxious feelings, trying to work through them, but it doesn't always succeed. Sometimes it just amplifies the anxiety, leaving the person feeling exhausted when they wake up. And then there's trauma. For people with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, nightmares are one of the core symptoms. These aren't just bad dreams, they're often vivid, terrifying re-experiences of the traumatic event itself. The person might relive the moment over and over night after night, unable to escape. And because REM sleep is supposed to help process emotions, it feels like a cruel twist. Instead of healing, the dream becomes a wound that keeps reopening. Interestingly, in healthy individuals, REM sleep tends to reduce the emotional intensity of difficult memories. You can still remember what happened, but it doesn't sting as much. The emotional charge fades. But in people with trauma, that process seems to break down. The desensitization doesn't happen, the memory stays raw, and the nightmare stays stuck on repeat. This is where treatments like imagery rehearsal therapy come in. It's a technique where people are taught to rewrite their recurring nightmares while awake. They imagine the nightmare, but then they change the ending. They give themselves power, control, safety, and then they rehearse this new version over and over. Gradually, the brain starts to adopt the new narrative. The nightmare loses its intensity, its frequency. It's like teaching your brain a different story, one with less fear and more resolution. But it's not just trauma and anxiety that affect dreams. Mental health medications can too. Many antidepressants, especially those that affect serotonin and norepinephrine, also affect sleep architecture. Some suppress REM sleep, leading to fewer remembered dreams. Others cause what's called REM rebound, where you suddenly have very vivid, emotionally intense dreams after adjusting your dosage. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a reminder that mood, sleep, and dreaming are all part of the same system. Change one part, and the ripples spread everywhere. There's also growing interest in using dreams as a window into mental health. While we're not yet at the point of diagnosing conditions based on dream content alone, researchers are exploring how dreams might help detect shifts in emotional well-being. Combined with sleep patterns, brain activity, and other markers, dreams could become part of a larger picture of mental health. The future might hold AI tools trained to recognize patterns in dream descriptions, flagging early signs of depression, anxiety, or other conditions. Though, admittedly, explaining a dream about flying broccoli to a computer will always feel a bit absurd. What's clear is that dreams are deeply personal. They reveal emotional truths we haven't spoken out loud. They reflect our hopes, fears, and the tangled space where those two things meet. And sometimes, when life feels overwhelming, dreams offer a kind of symbolic relief. They give shape to things we don't yet have words for. There's even evidence that dreams can be helpful for problem solving and emotional growth. In therapy, people sometimes dream about difficult decisions or unresolved feelings. The dream doesn't hand them a perfect answer, but it nudges them closer to clarity. It's the brain quietly saying, "You're working on this," even if you don't realize it. Of course, not all dreams are profound. Some are just weird, random, clearly inspired by something you ate too late at night. And that's perfectly fine. Not every dream needs to mean something. Sometimes a talking giraffe in a top hat is just a talking giraffe in a top hat. But when dreams do stir something deeper, when they echo stress you've been ignoring or bring up fears you haven't fully faced, it's worth noticing, not overanalyzing, not panicking, just noticing. Because your dreaming mind isn't separate from you, it's part of you, a nighttime version of yourself, trying in its own strange language to be heard and understood. So, if you're going through a hard time and your dreams are darker, stranger, more intense than usual, be gentle with yourself. Your mind is still processing, still working, even in the dark. And if your dreams are softer, quieter, or even hopeful, hold on to that too. Sometimes the subconscious leads us toward healing before we're even awake enough to see it happening. Dreams are part of the conversation, the ongoing dialogue between your brain, your body, and your heart. And like all good conversations, sometimes the most important parts happen late at night when everything else is quiet and still. Now, there's another layer to all of this that we haven't touched on yet, something that connects sleep, dreams, and the body in ways that might surprise you. Because while we've been talking about what happens in your brain during sleep, your body is also incredibly busy. Sleep isn't just a mental reset, it's a full body restoration process. And when sleep is disrupted, when you don't get enough of it, the effects ripple through every system in your body. Let's talk about what happens when you don't sleep well. We've all been there. A night of tossing and turning, waking up every hour, or just lying there staring at the ceiling while your mind refuses to quiet down. The next day, you feel it. You're groggy, irritable, foggy. Your reaction time is slower. Your memory feels fuzzy. You reach for caffeine like it's a lifeline. But what's actually happening inside your body during those sleepless nights? First, your immune system takes a hit. During deep sleep, your body produces cytokines, proteins that help fight infection and inflammation. When you don't get enough deep sleep, your body produces fewer of these protective proteins. That's why people who are sleep deprived get sick more often. Their immune system is running on empty, unable to defend against viruses and bacteria as effectively. There's a reason you're told to get plenty of rest when you're sick. Sleep is medicine. Then there's your metabolism. Sleep deprivation messes with the hormones that regulate hunger and fullness. When you don't sleep enough, your body produces more ghrelin, the hormone that makes you feel hungry, and less leptin, the hormone that makes you feel full. So you end up feeling hungrier, especially for high-calorie, high-carb foods. Your body is desperately seeking energy because it didn't get to recharge properly during sleep. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation is linked to weight gain, insulin resistance, and even type 2 diabetes. Your body needs sleep just as much as your brain does. And speaking of your brain, sleep deprivation affects cognitive function in profound ways. Your ability to focus, to make decisions, to process information, all of it declines. Studies have shown that after just one night of poor sleep, your cognitive performance is similar to being mildly intoxicated. Your reaction time slows, your judgment becomes impaired, and your ability to learn new information drops significantly. That's why pulling an all-nighter before an exam is actually counterproductive. Your brain needs sleep to consolidate what you've learned. Without it, the information doesn't stick. There's also an emotional component. Sleep deprivation makes it harder to regulate emotions. The amygdala, that emotional center of the brain we talked about earlier, becomes more reactive when you're sleep deprived. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, which helps keep emotions in check, becomes less active. The result is that you're more likely to feel anxious, irritable, or emotionally overwhelmed. Small frustrations feel bigger, minor stresses feel unbearable, and over time, chronic sleep deprivation is strongly linked to depression and anxiety disorders. Even your appearance is affected. It's called beauty sleep. During deep sleep, your body increases production of growth hormone, which helps repair cells and tissues, including your skin. Blood flow to the skin increases, which is why you might notice you look more refreshed after a good night's sleep. When you're sleep deprived, your skin doesn't get that repair time. You might notice more fine lines, puffiness, dark circles under your eyes, and a duller complexion. Your body is literally showing the signs of wear and tear. So, sleep isn't a luxury. It's not something you can skip without consequences. It's as essential to your health as food and water. And yet, in modern society, sleep is often the first thing we sacrifice. We stay up late scrolling through our phones, binge-watching shows, working late, worrying about tomorrow. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor, as if being tired means we're productive, we're hustling, we're important. But the truth is, chronic sleep deprivation is quietly undermining our health, our happiness, and our ability to function. The good news is that most sleep problems can be improved with some simple changes. Sleep hygiene, it's called. And it's not about being perfect, it's about creating conditions that make good sleep more likely. First, consistency matters. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's internal clock. Your brain starts to expect sleep at a certain time, and it prepares accordingly. When your schedule is all over the place, your brain gets confused. It doesn't know when to start the sleep process, and you end up lying awake when you want to be sleeping. Light also plays a huge role. Your brain uses light as a cue for when to be awake and when to sleep. Bright light, especially blue light from screens, tells your brain it's daytime. That's fine during the day, but in the evening it can interfere with your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that helps you feel sleepy. So dimming the lights in the evening, avoiding screens for at least an hour before bed, or using blue light filters can help signal to your brain that it's time to wind down. Your sleep environment matters too. A cool, dark, quiet room is ideal. Your body temperature naturally drops when you sleep, so a room that's too warm can make it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. Darkness tells your brain it's nighttime. Even small amounts of light from street lamps or electronics can interfere with sleep quality. And noise, even if it doesn't fully wake you up, can fragment your sleep, preventing you from reaching the deeper, more restorative stages. What you do during the day affects your sleep at night. Exercise, for example, generally improves sleep quality, but timing matters. Vigorous exercise too close to bedtime can be stimulating, making it harder to fall asleep. Earlier in the day is better. And what you eat and drink matters too. Caffeine, which can stay in your system for hours, can interfere with sleep even if you have it in the afternoon. Alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, but it disrupts the structure of your sleep, reducing REM and causing more awakenings during the night. And heavy meals right before bed can cause discomfort and indigestion, making it harder to settle into sleep. Then there's the mental component. Racing thoughts, worry, stress. These are some of the most common barriers to sleep. If your mind is spinning when you lie down, it's hard to relax enough to drift off. This is where practices like mindfulness, meditation, or even just gentle breathing exercises can help. The goal isn't to force yourself to sleep. That usually backfires. The goal is to create a calm, relaxed state where sleep can happen naturally. Some people find it helpful to have a wind-down routine. Maybe it's reading a book, taking a warm bath, listening to calm music, or doing some gentle stretching. The routine itself becomes a signal to your brain. It's like saying, okay, the day is done. It's time to rest. Your brain starts to associate these activities with sleep, and over time they become more effective. And if you're lying in bed and you can't sleep, don't just lie there staring at the ceiling getting frustrated. That can actually train your brain to associate your bed with wakefulness and frustration, which makes the problem worse. Instead, get up, go to another room, do something quiet and calming until you feel sleepy, and then try again. It might feel counterintuitive, but it helps preserve the association between your bed and sleep. Of course, sometimes sleep problems are more than just habits or environment. Sleep disorders like insomnia, sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, and narcolepsy are real medical conditions that require professional help. If you've been struggling with sleep for weeks or months, if it's affecting your daily life, your mood, your health, it's worth talking to a doctor. You don't have to just suffer through it. There are treatments, therapies, and interventions that can help. Sleep is also closely tied to aging. As we get older, our sleep patterns change. Older adults tend to spend less time in deep sleep and more time in lighter stages. They might wake up more frequently during the night, and they might find it harder to fall asleep in the first place. This is partly due to changes in the brain's sleep-regulating systems, and partly due to other factors like medications, health conditions, and changes in circadian rhythms. But just because sleep changes with age doesn't mean poor sleep is inevitable. Many older adults sleep quite well, especially when they prioritize good sleep habits. There's also a gender component to sleep. Women, on average, report more sleep problems than men, especially during certain life stages. Hormonal changes during menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause can all affect sleep quality, and women are also more likely to experience insomnia and restless leg syndrome. Men, on the other hand, are more likely to have sleep apnea, a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. Understanding these differences can help tailor sleep strategies to individual needs. And then there's the question of how much sleep you actually need. The common recommendation is 7 to 9 hours for adults, but there's individual variation. Some people genuinely feel great on 7 hours. Others need closer to 9, and some rare individuals, the so-called short sleepers, function well on much less, but they're the exception, not the rule. Most people who think they can get by on 5 or 6 hours are actually chronically sleep-deprived. They've just gotten used to feeling tired. One way to figure out how much sleep you need is to pay attention to how you feel. If you wake up naturally without an alarm and feel refreshed, alert, and able to function well throughout the day, you're probably getting enough sleep. If you're hitting snooze multiple times, relying heavily on caffeine, feeling foggy or irritable, or falling asleep the moment you sit down, you probably need more sleep. And here's something interesting. Sleep debt is real. If you're not getting enough sleep during the week, you can't just make it up entirely by sleeping in on the weekend. While extra sleep on weekends does help, it doesn't fully compensate for chronic sleep deprivation. The best approach is to aim for consistent, adequate sleep every night. Think of it like maintaining a healthy diet. You can't eat poorly all week and then eat well on Saturday and expect to be healthy. Now, let's circle back to dreams for a moment, because there's one more aspect we haven't fully explored: the cultural and historical significance of dreams. Because while we've been focusing on the science, the truth is that humans have been fascinated by dreams for as long as we've been able to talk about them, and different cultures throughout history have had very different ideas about what dreams mean and where they come from. In ancient Mesopotamia, one of the world's earliest civilizations, dreams were considered messages from the gods. They had professional dream interpreters, people whose job it was to decode these divine communications. If a king had a troubling dream, an interpreter would be called in to explain what it meant and what actions should be taken. Dreams were taken very seriously. They influenced political decisions, military strategies, even personal relationships. The ancient Egyptians also believed dreams were messages, but they thought dreams could also be portals to other realms. They had dream books, collections of common dream symbols and their meanings, almost like ancient dream dictionaries. And they had rituals for incubating dreams, practices designed to encourage specific dreams that would bring guidance or healing. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Aristotle was one of the first to suggest that dreams might come from within the dreamer, from the body and mind, rather than from external gods or spirits. He believed dreams were influenced by sensory experiences during the day and by the state of the body. It was an early naturalistic approach to understanding dreams, though it would be many centuries before this view became dominant. The Romans continued this interest in dreams, but they also saw them as omens. Important dreams, especially those of emperors or military leaders, were interpreted as predictions of future events. There are records of battles being postponed and political decisions being made based on dreams. In many indigenous cultures around the world, dreams have always been seen as deeply important. Among some Native American tribes, dreams are considered a way of receiving guidance from ancestors or spirits. Dream catchers, those beautiful woven webs, come from Ojibwe tradition and were believed to filter out bad dreams while allowing good ones to pass through. In Aboriginal Australian cultures, the concept of the dream time refers to the sacred era of creation, and dreams are seen as a connection to that timeless realm. In Islamic tradition, dreams are also significant. True dreams are considered a form of prophecy, while false dreams are thought to come from the self or from negative sources. There's a whole tradition of dream interpretation in Islamic scholarship, and certain dreams, especially those seen during particular times or by particularly pious individuals, are given special weight. In Hinduism and Buddhism, dreams are sometimes seen as illusions, part of the veil of Maya that obscures true reality. But they're also recognized as potentially meaningful, offering insights into the mind and the soul. In some Buddhist practices, dream yoga is a meditative technique where practitioners learn to remain aware during dreams, similar to lucid dreaming, as a way of training the mind and exploring the nature of consciousness. Sigmund Freud, in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, brought dreams back into Western intellectual discourse. His book, The Interpretation of Dreams, published in 1899, argued that dreams were the royal road to the unconscious. He believed they revealed hidden desires, repressed wishes, and unresolved conflicts. His approach was heavily focused on sexuality and childhood experiences, which was controversial then and remains debated now. But he did help establish the idea that dreams were worth studying, that they could tell us something important about the human psyche. Carl Jung, who started as Freud's student but later broke away, took a different approach. He He believed dreams connected us to the collective unconscious, a kind of shared psychological inheritance that all humans carry. Dreams, in his view, contained archetypal symbols, universal images and themes that appear across cultures and throughout history. The wise old man, the great mother, the hero's journey, these weren't just personal, they were part of a larger human story. Modern neuroscience has moved away from these symbolic interpretations, focusing instead on the biological mechanisms of dreaming. But that doesn't mean the earlier approaches were completely wrong. Dreams can be both biological and meaningful. Your brain might be consolidating memories and processing emotions through neural mechanisms, and at the same time, the content of those dreams can feel personally significant. These aren't mutually exclusive. Science explains the how, culture and personal reflection explore the why and the what. And this is part of what makes dreams endlessly fascinating. They exist at this intersection of biology and meaning, of brain activity and personal experience. They're concrete enough to study in a lab, but mysterious enough to inspire poetry, art, and spiritual reflection. They're universal. Everyone dreams, but they're also deeply individual. No two people dream exactly the same way. There's something democratic about dreams, too. Rich or poor, young or old, educated or not, everyone enters the same strange landscape when they close their eyes. In dreams, the rules of the waking world don't apply. A child can fly, an elderly person can run. Someone who's lost a loved one can see them again, if only for a moment. Dreams are one of the few spaces where the impossible becomes possible, where the boundaries of reality soften and blur. And yet, despite all the research, despite all the theories and technologies, dreams remain fundamentally mysterious. We can map the brain activity, identify the stages of sleep, even predict some of the content, but we can't fully explain why a dream feels the way it feels, why certain images carry such emotional weight, why you wake up from some dreams feeling peaceful and from others feeling unsettled. There's a quality to the dream experience that resists complete explanation, and maybe that's okay. Maybe there's value in the mystery. So where does all of this leave us? What have we learned about dreams and the sleeping brain? We've learned that sleep is far more than just rest. It's a complex, active process with multiple stages, each serving a different purpose. We've learned that dreams are most vivid during REM sleep, when the brain is highly active, but the body is still. We've learned that dreams probably serve multiple functions, helping us process memories, regulate emotions, rehearse for challenges, and maybe even solve problems. We've learned that nightmares, while unpleasant, are usually the brain's way of working through difficult emotions or experiences. We've learned that lucid dreaming is possible, a strange hybrid state where you're both asleep and aware. We've learned that animals dream too, suggesting that dreaming is an ancient, evolutionarily important process. And we've learned that technology is starting to peer into the dreaming mind, raising new possibilities and new ethical questions. We've also learned that sleep and mental health are deeply connected. Poor sleep affects mood, and poor mental health affects sleep. It's a cycle, but it's one that can be broken with the right support and strategies. And we've learned that sleep itself is essential for physical health, affecting everything from your immune system to your heart to your metabolism. But perhaps most importantly, we've learned that dreams are profoundly human. They're creative, emotional, strange, and beautiful. They're a reminder that even when we're unconscious, the mind is still working, still creating, still exploring. Dreams are the brain's night shift, a quiet performance for an audience of one, where anything can happen, and often does. So tonight, as you lie down to sleep, as your body relaxes and your mind begins to drift, remember that you're about to embark on a journey. You might not remember all of it, you might not remember any of it, but it will happen. Your brain will cycle through its stages. Your neurons will fire in patterns both familiar and strange. And somewhere in the darkness behind your eyelids, stories will unfold. Stories only you will see, painted in the colors of your own mind. You might dream of flying, or falling, or finding yourself in a place you've never been but somehow recognize. You might dream of people you know, or people you've never met, or people who don't exist outside your imagination. You might solve a problem, or relive a memory, or experience something completely impossible. And all of it, strange as it may be, is your brain taking care of you, processing, sorting, healing, creating. So let yourself sleep. Let yourself dream. Don't fight it, don't force it, just allow it. Your brain knows what to do. It's been doing this since before you were born, and it will keep doing it every night for the rest of your life. Trust it. Rest in the knowledge that while you sleep, important work is being done. Work you can't see or control, but work that matters deeply to your health, your mind, and your well-being. And if you wake up tomorrow with only the faintest memory of a dream, or no memory at all, that's okay too. The benefit happened whether you remember it or not. The emotions were processed, the memories were filed, the brain was restored. You did what you needed to do simply by sleeping, simply by dreaming. Before we close, I want to say thank you. Thank you for spending this time here, for letting these words accompany you into the night. If you found this helpful, if it brought you some peace or satisfied some curiosity, I'd love it if you clicked the like button. And if you want more of these calm, thoughtful explorations of science, hit subscribe. There's so much more to discover together. And also let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is for you right now. I love hearing from all of you. This is Alara, signing off from the Late Night Science Channel. Sweet dreams, fellow wanderer.